Before I built anything, I was already inside it. I just didn't know what I was looking at. Hey, it's Matthew. Welcome to Paint Job, Episode 2, The Workshop, Where It Began, covering the story before the next coat. And this is where things get a little bit more specific. I wanted to start by talking about Custom Made, which is the project that I've been working on for the last 4 or 5 months. This is the album of rebodying the self. Not myth as escape, not fantasy as veil. This is the moment that the artist steps into the workshop and says, I made this version of me on purpose. So Custom Made would suggest that there's going to be themes of restoration, reinvention, surface and soul, gloss over damage, personal branding, muscle car energy versus showroom energy, queering masculinity through style, polish and performance, taking something worn, scarred or standard issue and making it unmistakably yours. It's going to feel like steel, sweat, neon, chrome, skin, club nights, garage heat, late night confessions, resurrections by design. It's where the myth era translated pain into symbols. Custom Made translates survival into visible choice. The dance of the self was about becoming a god. This is not about becoming a god. This is about becoming the man who signs off on the final finish. We're going to cover emotional territory in this album that's going to explore reclaiming identity after collapse, turning shame into style, making masculinity personal instead of inherited, becoming performance without becoming fake. Body, voice, image, agency, damage, patchwork, polish, pride, all of those things go into the mix. Loneliness is there inside reinvention. And we're going to be seeing the real. So for Custom Made, if you lean into these styles of music, it's probably going to be something you might like to enjoy and stick around for on this podcast, Paint Job, as we talk about the making, the story, and the man that went into it. We're talking sleek electronic pop, lyrical house, 80s body music influences, chrome disco, obviously my power ballad moments with some dark pulse club tracks and some live feeling and some grit in that vocal production. And as always, the lyric and stories within the songs are my most favourite and personal part, so let's not forget to listen into those. Think polished but not sterile, masculine but expressive, sensual but engineered, emotional with propulsion, less celestial myth, more midnight city, showroom floor, sweat under the lights. This could all merge into garage, glamour, gay icon energy, performance engineering, but most importantly, this is not who I found, this is what I finished.
No thunder cracked, no sky split open, just a pulse I chose to lead. I send a signal under your skin, a velvet current pulling you in.
Whispers and static, burning like fire. Catch my rhythm, feed your desire. What looked like loss was just compression, refining signal over time. I asked the silence what it meant to stand alone and still proceed. You know I got that transmission, you know you got the key for ignition.
I trace the lines of every faction, turn the shards into design. Turn me on and now you're my mission. So baby let me know
if you wanna take it slow.
No crown descending,
no spotlight sign,
just breath and rhythm.
Step in line,
I can't resist the pull. Every wave's a chain, your siren frequency calling out my name. No borrowed voices, no borrowed flame. I kept then you do too. We don't wait, we align, living loud on borrowed time.
Borrowed time, borrowed mind.
Once you feel it, you can't go back. You can't turn it off once you've been switched on. No chaos, just precaution. The fire's burning, you can't deny that. And now you're under my control. You can't resist my transmission.
My siren, my frequency. Time, 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 borrowed time, borrowed time.
I tried to be what kept me safe. Constructed proof in measured lines. But safety never sang the truth. It only muted brighter signs. But the jukebox hum was underground, but never truly left the room. When I stopped asking who approved, the melody resumed.
Don't go, so let go.
I can't say no.
Static bends, body sway.
I'm gone, I obey.
If you're searching for the other side, follow the line. There's a rhythm in your chest that matches more. Left behind in design, living bright on borrowed time. Time, 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 time. Come closer. Time, time, time.
I'm borrowed time, but I claim it. Every myth I had to walk, reframe it on your siren frequency. Signal drowning every plea. On borrowed time, for emotion from harmonic dissonance, devotion. Caught between sin and ecstasy.
The siren frequency.
If you hear the beat ahead,
Start moving.
you can't resist me. The siren frequency. If you feel that frequency, then you do too.
Not alone, not confined. We were always in time.
On borrowed time.
The silent frequency. Come closer, come closer. Living clean. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. The silent frequency. All time. Silent frequency.
That's track number 7 from the Mythmaker set of On Borrowed Time, mashed up with Siren Frequency from the album Fable. I've been thinking a lot about where this all actually started. Not the music, not the albums, not even the idea of becoming an artist. Before all that, there was a workshop. It wasn't glamorous. It smelled like paint and grease, primer, ugh. There were tools everywhere, cars in different states of being fixed, or waiting to be. And somewhere in the middle of all that was my dad. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was watching something very specific. A man building, fixing, holding pressure, providing, and doing it all in a space that asked a lot from him. Sometimes more than we even saw at home. Because here's the thing, that workshop, it was his purpose, his pressure, his pride, his escape. All at the same time. And as a kid, you don't separate those things. You just feel them. I think part of me believed that to be a man, you had to become that. Strong, busy, responsible, carrying it all. Even if it cost something. It's funny now, because when I started building custom made and talking about rebuilding and painting, refining, I thought I was being creative. But really, I was just remembering. The workshop wasn't just a place. It was the blueprint, the environment, the first version of what I thought life looked like. And I've spent a long time since figuring out which parts of that I wanted to keep. Because what comes next is something we don't always question straight away. What were we given? What was installed? What we thought we had to be? And so with that in mind, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a tease. Here is track number 1, The Workshop, from the album Custom Made, out July 25th, 2026.
I remember the smell before anything else. Paint in the air, primer, grease in the cracks of the floor. It stayed on your clothes, came home with you, sat at the dinner table without asking. Roller door, half open to the light, dust dancing in the middle of the day, radio playing something I don't know, but it sounded like a man's world to me. Steel frames and cigarette breaks, names on calendars I shouldn't see. I didn't understand it then, just knew this place had rules, not for me. You moved like you knew what to do, hands telling stories you never said out loud. I watched you fix what was in front of you while I stood quiet in the background. This was your workshop, where the broken came to change, where the damage got reshaped and the silence stayed the same. This was your world, and I was just passing through, learning how to hold it all without knowing what to do. Mum behind the desk, keeping the books, you running late, chasing the day. Two lives built inside these walls in a way that somehow worked that way. It took more of you than it gave, or maybe I just felt it then. Every hour you stayed inside was an hour I didn't get. I saw the way you never dropped, heard it in the way the door would close. You carried more than what you fixed, but never let it show. This was your workshop, where survival wore a name, where the pressure had a place and the stress could be contained. This was your world, built with everything you had, and I didn't always see the love in the way you understood that.
This is Paint Job. My name is Matthew. And now you know where it started.